Hey friends, it's been a while. Let me get my life together. All right, let me pull Instagram over here. Let me make sure that our Instagram friends know to join me on YouTube so that we can get a real experience. Oh, and let's do that. All right, pin the comment. Hey, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. We about to get started. I'm just trying to get my situation together. I was gonna do it live and then I took a nap. So I was just like, no, I'm actually not gonna do this. Well, Instagram, if it allowed for real links, or you could just open up the YouTube app and just go to my channel, Feminista Jones. You'll see that I'm currently live. And then you can click that and then come over to YouTube. I'm happy to do this. I'm happy to do this. Welcome, all my good people. I love you all so much. I don't know who's still awake. I don't know who still wants to do this, but we're actually going to do this. We're going to do this. We are going to go through this. I want to make sure that I'm sharing. Actually, let me make sure that I set this up so that I have the audio sharing. Yes. Okay, great. All right, we're going to do it. All right, let's get into this.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, Brad.
Voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Can you hear it?
I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree.
Okay, hold on.
It is
Hold on.
a topic of discussion that people want.
Okay, I don't want any echo. Nope, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna do this because I haven't done this in a while, and so I'm just like, why the hell? There shouldn't be an echo. I shouldn't be hearing this. Hold on, y'all. I know what's going on. Give me a second. I know what's going on. Let me make sure. This is crazy. Okay, the mic is here. Echo cancellation. Test the AirPods. I just want to make sure that I am okay. Let me try something. Let me know. Let me know if you hear the echo if I do this.
To rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but just a number.
Do you still hear it? I'm waiting. My YouTube folks are going to tell me if you still hear it. I don't know why. I usually it's supposed to be in my ear, and I don't know why it's in my ear. Still? Okay. Well, we're going to fix this. We're going to do this together because I'm like, you normally my AirPods will shift. Okay, okay, that's still there. Now we're not, listen, we are not going to have this problem. So AirPods, the mic is the Yeti. Let me see if I can do, so I think it's something from this. I think it's something from this. Sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me stop sharing. We're going to stop that. Let's see my settings. No, that's fuck. Sorry. But anyway. Oh gosh, why is it doing that? Let's see. Camera is good. Audio. I have it in my AirPods. I don't know why that's doing that. All right, let's pull her over here. Let's pull her over here and see if this works. Let me know. I'm gonna share again, and then you all let me know. Oh, I don't know. I didn't mean to do that. And we are sharing the sound. Okay, share. All right, so let's try this again. Please let me know if you hear echo.
Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken.
Do you still hear it? It's better? Okay. I was just kind of like, what the hell is going on? Okay. So if I do it that way, that works. Okay. So let's start over because we're going to get this from the beginning. Okay.
The influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
Fuck! Okay, wait. Oh, okay, I know what I did. We're back. I had to test something. We're back. Y'all, just thank you so much. All right, hold on. No, I know I turned my monitor off. And so the sound was coming from over there. And then I turned it off. And then it went back to the echo. Okay. I don't know what's happening. Like this, normally when I do this, I have the same exact settings that I've been using. Like I don't know why that's, unless it's picking up from the mic. Unless the mic is doing that. Hold on. That's because I had it muted, so it's okay. I'm just venting my frustration right now is what I'm doing. It's okay. It's okay. Hold on. I'm coming, guys. I'm coming. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna share this. We're gonna stop this share. Stop. We're gonna fix these goddamn settings. We're gonna change this to my AirPods. You all hear me now? Can you hear me? As long as you can hear me, I'll put this shit on my fucking phone or something if I need to. Okay, now we're gonna try this again, y'all. We're gonna try it again. Y'all tell me if there's an echo.
We have
It's a rough estimate of 6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question. I promise you.
Is there an echo?
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump policies. Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial.
Okay, let's pay attention
So
to what you're saying.
instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So Looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning
Thank you, Dr. Hall.
of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before.
Okay, let's point out that she looks pissed off already. Wait, the video is lagging? Oh no. Look, we can't have perfection tonight. The full moon said no. She looks pissed off already. Like her face, her body language, everything right now is screaming, don't piss me off.
The Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the elite. Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please?
Oh, we're going to get a lot of this one. We're going to get a lot of, I am speaking, Kamala. We're going to get a lot of that tonight because she is not suffering no fools. Okay.
You have to let me finish,
You
please.
had the White House and the House and the Senate,
I'm
and they
in the
didn't
middle
bring up
of
that bill.
responding to the point you're raising,
Okay.
and I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
We recognized from day one that, to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people. And our focus has been on fixing a problem. And from day one, then, we have done a number of things, including to address our asylum system and put more resources, getting more judges, what we needed to do to tighten up penalties and increase penalties for illegal crossings, what we needed to do to deal with points of entry between border entry points. That's the work we did, and we worked on supporting what was a bipartisan effort, including some of the most conservative.
So she's reminding them that their approach to the border is Republican because they keep lying about it, right? Okay.
Members of the United States Congress to actually strengthen the border. That border bill would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why I believe the Border Patrol agents supported the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States, which is a scourge affecting people of every background, every geographic location in our country, killing people. It would have allowed us to put more resources into prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, which I have done as the Attorney General, former Attorney General of a border state.
Madam Vice President, a couple of things.
Prosecuted trafficking of drugs, guns, and human beings. And Donald Trump.
Okay, so I can see why he wants to move forward because one, they don't have a whole lot of time, and two, she's pretty much repeating things that she's already said in her speeches. This was done at 6 o'clock Eastern time today. I was going to stream it live, but I took a nap. So this was earlier. This was posted earlier today. I don't know if it was live or not, but I do know that it just came on a few hours ago. She's repeating a lot of her stump speech stuff, and it's kind of like, okay, yeah, we don't necessarily want to hear or need to hear that. However, he is going to be aggressive because her body language is super aggressive, and so they're kind of with it, right?
But let me just finish.
6
and
Democrats
Donald
voted
Trump
against that bill.
Learned about that bill and told them to kill it because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And in this election, this is rightly a discussion that the American people want to have. And what they want are solutions, and they want a president of the United States who's not playing political games with the issue,
I hear you.
but actually is focused on fixing
6
it.
Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it.
Oh, there he goes. Bernie. Corey.
These are the 6 Democrats. But more importantly, back to the original premise, Jocelyn Nungari, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration. Well,
here's the thing about when the Republicans, bring up these people, who experience, victims of crime, right? They don't ever want to talk about all of their pastors and preachers who, like, every day we're learning are like raping their children. I just
Before a negotiated bipartisan bill. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So if it wouldn't have happened,
right.
this is well
They're
before any
fact-checking now.
negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Brett,
those
I think it's
families
really, I think,
an apology?
let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that.
Her hair looking
There's
extra
no
straight
question
today.
about that.
Anybody
And
notice
I
that?
can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold it all together
Madam Vice President.
to ensure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Brett.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it.
Ooh.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration
Yeah, he hit her
border
with
policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration.
So this is actually a good question. Why is she even on this channel? Because for the last 2 weeks, she's been making a series of terrible decisions in terms of what media platforms she should be on and who she's trying to reach people. In the last month before the election, she's trying to reach as many audiences as possible. And presidential candidates, have to give equal time to the media companies have to give equal time to each of the presidents, and they were making us think that she wasn't coming on Fox. And so that makes her look bad to all of the Republicans that she's spent all this money trying to court. If she doesn't go on their channel, if she doesn't go into their space, that makes her look bad. So she kind of had to. Yeah, no, he did eat her up. Nah, he ate her up a little bit. Like, she knows she's going into hostile territory. So, she should have expected this. All right, let's keep going.
Open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days.
Look at her face.
But do you owe them?
She needs to put a little more empathy
I
in
should
that.
tell you that I am so sorry for her loss.
There we go.
I'm so sorry for her loss.
There we go. Change your face a little bit. Okay.
But let's talk about
But
what
see,
is happening right now with
that's bad public
an
speaking.
individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
But do you want to answer
in all
her?
fairness.
Because when
I
you say
told
but, it
I
negates
feel
everything you said before
awful
but.
for what she and her family have experienced.
During that time, you said repeatedly that the border was secure. When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
I think we've had a broken immigration system transcending, by the way, Donald Trump's administration, even before.
Yeah, let's go back to Obama.
Let's all be honest about that.
The
I
deporter
have
in
no
chief.
pride in saying that this is a perfect immigration system. I've been clear, I think we all are, that it needs to be fixed.
She's like,
We
stop
need
playing in my
more.
face.
I was just down at the border talking with border agents, and they will tell you, and I'm sure I know you investigate and you are a serious journalist. They will tell you, we need more judges.
She said, I know you were saying you a serious journalist. I know you investigating. That's why, okay, so on Threads, I was talking about signifying. That's signifying right there. That's what she just did. She just kind of reminded us that she got black in her. That was very black of her. That was a signifying monkey right there, all right? Just so y'all know. That was hilarious. Okay, one for Kamala. We're going to give her one.
We need to process those cases faster. We need the support for those cases that should be prosecuted. They need more resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that that's going to get fixed, Brett.
Well,
that's how this system works.
That's the premise of this question.
But
There were
that's how the
90
system
plus
works.
executive orders that were rescinded in the first days. Many of those were Trump border policies. I'm not going to stay here because there's other things to talk about, but you frequently talk to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it. They want support. They want support, and that's what that border security bill would have done. These guys down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard. They're working around the clock. I get it.
There's a lot of people that look back at what you said in 2019 when you first ran for president. And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care.
I was thinking this too. I was like, actually, I am smarter than her, but it's okay.
And I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over and over again. And as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
If that's the case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state.
It's okay, Doc, you can brag.
So do you support that?
We are very clear, and I am very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must support and enforce federal law, and that is exactly what we will do.
So decriminalizing border crossings, like you said in 2019.
I do not believe in decriminalizing border crossings.
Okay, sorry, y'all. That drag was a little too hard. So the smartest thing they can do is go back to 2019 and pull out things that she said then, because so many of her policy points, especially when she was running for president that first time, excuse me, well, later on, but you know what I mean. They're opposite of what she's saying now. And so that's one of her that's like probably her major weakness, is that just a few years ago, she had like radically different views on a lot of things, right? So yeah, she's on the ropes right now.
And I've not done that as vice president. I will not do that as president.
So these are evolutions that you've had.
But let's be very clear. I'm the only person who's running for president who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations, from the Sinaloa cartel to the Guadalajara cartel to people who have trafficked in guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career going after.
So this is what we've been hearing at the rallies. She has repeated this line, this thinking of quite a bit, that, I'm the only one. I had a border state. I prosecuted transcontinental cartels and all those things like that. That's a talking point for her. But that actually doesn't really have much to do with what's happening at the border that they're talking about, right? What she's talking about are like these hella coordinated kind of cartel situations that get support from the United States government. And I don't know why she keeps bringing that up, because the call is coming from inside the house. But anyway, she keeps repeating that. And so that doesn't really land well because nobody cares.
After people who present a threat to the safety of the American people and cross our border with the intent of doing us harm and cross our border illegally. And I will do that work as vice president. I take that work quite seriously.
I will do that work as vice. Did she say I will do that work as vice president? Did I hear that?
Especially here in Pennsylvania, are inundated with commercials and ads. They just want it to stop because it's every commercial. But many of them add noise, but a few of them seem to break through.
Don't.
This particular one from
about the cartels you prosecuted
has gotten a lot of attention.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
For prisoners, every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law.
Oh,
And it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis to people in the federal prison system. And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing, stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aides say that he
no, that's not okay. This is why she keeps losing people. This was a really good opportunity to just say yes. She immediately pivoted to making it about, well, Trump does it too. That's not cool. Like, that's not cool. She's like, don't ask me about me. She says, I'll follow the law. She went from, I support this on a human level to I will follow the law. And also Trump did it. Again, if you wonder why so many people are disappointed with her and why people feel betrayed by her, it is because this is what she does with all of these issues. This person who at one time was passionately convicted about a lot of things, seemed to care about people in some way. I mean, she's still a cop, but you know what I'm saying? Like, seemed to have something, or at least she was saying the right words, to now become this completely cold, sterile, I'm not touching this. I'm not going to talk about gender, race, sexuality, any of those identity politic things. This is not good, right? You know what I mean? Like, this is not good, everybody. It's just not.
He never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transitions.
Well, you know
surgeries
what? You got to
happened
take
during
responsible for what
his
happened in your
presidency.
administration.
Yeah, no surgeries happened in his presidency.
It's in
So
black and white.
would you still advocate for using
He's saying that
taxpayer
none of the
dollars for
surgeries
gender
happened under
reassigned
Trump.
I will
surgeries?
follow the law, just as I
Well, you have a
think
say
Donald Trump would
as-
say he did.
You would have a say as president.
Like I said, I think it's he spent $20 million on those ads, trying to create a sense of fear in the voters because he actually has no plan in this election that is about focusing on the needs of the American people. Whereas at $20 million on that ad, on an issue that, as it relates to the biggest issues that affect the American people, it's really quite remote. And again,
Oh man. Okay. Somebody said at Instagram, she could have just said gender affirming surgery saves lives. Right. That's it. That's done. But did you all hear what she just did? Right. She basically said, this ain't something we're supposed to be even worried about. Like, you're making a big deal out of nothing. And for somebody who this is the DNC did not have a trans person speak at their convention. She has really not talked about trans issues, and she's been called out on that. Just queer and trans issues. For her to basically be like, oh, see, your dumbass spent all that money on something that's not an issue. I'm gonna run it back in case you didn't quite hear. Okay, let's run it back. I want you to hear. And again, remember, when I do this as somebody who's a public speaker and who writes a lot of speeches. Okay, so here.
On the needs of the American people. Whereas at $20 million on that ad, on an issue that, as it relates to the biggest issues that affect the American people, it's really quite remote. And again, his policy was no different. Look at where we are, though.
They say
On
it was
plans for
different,
the
but
American
we'll move
people,
on.
I'm offering a plan to deal with affordable housing. I'm offering a plan to
She
deal
completely
with what
pivots
we
away
need
from
to
the
do
whole
to
thing.
strengthen small businesses,
And
which are the
that's,
backbone of
she could have
America's
just
economy. I am offering
affirmed.
a
She could
plan
have
that
just
is
said
about
gender affirming
taking care of
surgery
young
saves lives.
parents and giving them the support they need. My plans for the economy will strengthen the economy, as have been reviewed by 16 Nobel laureates, Goldman Sachs, Moody's, and recently the Wall Street Journal, which have all studied our plans.
Okay, just a periodic reminder that Wall Street was created for the trafficking of human beings. And so anytime you're referencing these, capitalist economists talks to support what it is that you're doing, that's actually not good for the American people. But okay, let's keep going.
and have indicated my plans for our economy would strengthen our economy. His would make them weaker,
Why do you
would
think more
ignite
people say-
inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. Those are the facts.
Why do you think more people say they trust him on the economy than they trust you?
I think that when you look at an analysis of our plans for what we would do as President of the United States, it has been clear to those who study and understand how economic
She just called him stupid, y'all. Nah, everybody caught that, right? She just called him stupid.
policy works, that moving forward, because I do believe the American people are ready to turn the page on the divisiveness and the type of
This is
rhetoric
more of
that
her
has come out of
stump- her
Donald Trump.
stump
People are
talking.
ready to chart a new way forward, and they want a president who has a plan for the future and a plan that is sound and will strengthen our country. My plan for the economy does exactly that. His plan would be, again, to give tax cuts to billionaires and the biggest corporations in our country and blow up our deficit.
It's interesting you said turn the page, Madam Vice President. You were asked on 2 different shows last week what, if anything, you would do differently than President Biden. Here's what you said.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I know.
And so that would be one change.
So that is invoking the identity politics, which is so weird. It's so weird to me when she uses it, right? When she pulls it up, I'm always fascinated at the times that she chooses to do that. And this is an easy way to do it. This is an easy way to be like, well, I'm not a white guy, right? Doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but she's just like, I'm not a white guy.
In terms of, but also, I think it's important to say with 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
So you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My
Let me be very
presidency
clear.
will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency.
Okay, so, oh my God. She said it out loud. All right. So if you do understand politics, right? If you do understand the two-party system in the United States, then you understand that part of why they run so hard to keep their people in office is so that they can continue the administration. Again, this is about the Democratic Party. It's not about Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. It's about the Democratic Party, the Democratic platform, the Democratic agenda, right? The Democratic platform that recently removed being against torture and being against the death penalty from their platform. That's the party. She's representing the party at the top of it, but her job is to continue the work of the previous administration to keep the party platform going forward, the party values, etc. What she just said there was and the implication of it is so much larger. She is saying, I am departing from the Democratic Party platform, which we all see, like we're seeing it, right? Moving definitely to the right. A lot of Republican talking points, a lot of courting of Republicans and conservatives, a lot of pulling out, removing progressive policies and replacing them with more moderate and right-leaning policies. So we've already seen that. Now she's actually saying it, that I will not continue the Joe Biden administration after spending a whole lot of time talking about all the wonderful things that the Biden administration has done. So which one is it? You cannot cite that your administration has done all these wonderful things for people and then come and say you're not going to continue it. That actually doesn't make sense. I want to know who her handlers are, because you don't say that. The party does not allow you to say that. And I bet she's going to be chastised about it.
And like every new president that comes in to office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership. I, for example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C. I invite ideas, whether it be from the Republicans who are supporting me, who were just on stage.
Wait, I wanna address this one. It says, Doc, transgender surgeries in prison are remote when you consider that the entire Republican apparatus uses this fraction of a percentage to attack trans people. She's defending the ads themselves. No, I know what she was doing. She was talking about that, but you also have to understand the power of words, right? And the power of the weight and the energy that you bring into that. She could have said, as the other person said, she could have said that gender affirming surgeries save lives, and there aren't that many people that need them in prisons. Like that's easier to say. But for her to kind of like the way that she phrased it and the way that she said, I'm just, again, coming from a public speaking point of view, it very much minimized the experiences of trans people. And that's what ended up happening in that moment, not what she wanted to happen. You feel me?
Stage with me minutes ago, and the business sector and others who can contribute to the decisions that I make about, for example, my plan for increasing the supply of housing in America and bringing down the cost of housing, addressing the issue of small businesses, which is about working with the private sector to bring more capital and access to capital to our small business leaders, including my plan for a $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers and for small businesses, extending the tax deduction from $5,000 to $50,000.
We've heard a lot about those plans.
He said, we've heard a lot about this plan. Yeah, because she does repeat it over and over and over again.
in recent days. Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
Ooh. Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we have been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country.
Wait. The last decade. 2014. Who was president in 2014? Okay.
And have Americans literally point fingers at each other. Rhetoric and an approach to leadership that suggests that the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down instead of what we all know. The strength of leadership is based on who you lift up. The strength of an American president, which is one who understands that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates us.
Madam
That
Vice
is
President, more than
turning the page.
70% of people
That is
tell
about turning the
pollsters-
page on rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Brett.
More than 70% of people
exhausted.
tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so she's not handling this well because we know that the vice presidents don't really do much, except her vice presidency has been a lot about, the Senate stuff, Senate issues and things like that. But generally, vice presidents don't really do much and don't have much legislative power. So she probably had more influence as a senator than she did as a vice president. But they keep bringing that up. But I think the point is that the administration has had the last 3.5 years to do X, Y, and Z. They have done a lot. Their messaging is absolutely terrible because people don't know all the stuff that they have done. But the point is that you're supposed to keep this going. And so I don't like that she keeps trying to divorce herself from the administration or her role in it, because no, keep it going. Keep it going.
Talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But you're
people
the
have
lever of
become,
power.
but listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me,
So she's reminding people that she has a lot of Republican support, right? Because she's on Fox News, so that's the audience. At least she knew to pivot to that for this audience, right? And that's the kind of thing she do. She went to speak to Black people on these podcasts and was still sounding like she was in Nevada or, Iowa, or whatever.
former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president. One, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous,
That's
and
good.
that
Get him
people
where it
are
hurts.
exhausted
Yeah.
with someone who professes to be a leader who spends full time demeaning.
She said your own crew don't even fuck with you. Your own crew don't even have your back. That's how you do that. That's how you do that.
And engaging in personal grievances and it being about him
Madam
instead
Vice
of
President,
the American people.
If
People
that's
I
are
the
agree.
tired
case,
of
if
that.
that's the case, why is
I
half
agree.
the country supporting him? Why is he beating you in a lot
Why
of swing
is he
states?
beating
Why,
you?
if he's as bad as you say, that half of
She's
this
not going to say
country
Gaza.
is
She's
now
not going to
supporting
say
this person
Gaza,
who could be the
which is the
47th
main,
president of the United
one of the
States?
main
Why is that
reasons.
happening?
This is an election for president of the United
And
States.
she's
It's not
woman.
supposed to be easy.
And
I know,
she's
but
It's
black.
not supposed to be. It
And
is
she's
not
an
supposed
immigrant.
to be a
So
cakewalk
are they
for
misguided, the
anyone.
50%?
Listen,
Are they
let me-
stupid?
Oh
What is
God,
it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to
They are
Donald
stupid,
Trump, if you
though.
watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American
She's
people,
flustered.
suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
Oh, they went black
I
woman for
heard
black
about
woman.
that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm
Ooh,
not
look at his
threatening
face.
anybody.
Yuck.
They're the ones doing the threatening. They do
I don't
phony
know.
investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated
Call him
when
out.
he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
he was asked
No,
about that
no,
specific.
that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and
I'm telling
respect
you,
to
that was the
you,
question
Yeah.
that we asked him.
you didn't show that. And here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times. And you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has
Yep.
talked about
Yes.
going after people who are engaged in peaceful
But also Democrats have done that too. So
protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy,
it's not a democracy, but she is hot right now, y'all. She's hot.
the president of the United States in the United States of America should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake, which is
Good.
why you have
Good.
someone
Go.
like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said
Bring it
about
back.
Donald Trump being a threat to the United States of America.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book that way, yes. Let me ask you this.
So what he's doing is because he knows that Fox viewers don't like Bob Woodward's book or whatever, he's like referencing that so that they can negate everything that she just said. If you happen to be moved by what she said, let's remember that this is, that kind of thing. That's a very good tactic there. He's a dickhead. I love it.
Madam Vice President, you
Because I
call
was-
Let's not
Donald
diminish
Trump.
the significance
you
of that.
call Donald Trump. He's misguided. You say now
He's
he is
unstable.
unstable.
He is unstable, Brett.
He's not
She said it
well.
again.
You say he's mentally.
I said what I said. That's what she just gave us right now. I said what I said. No, she is totally fired up. Like, she's fired up. She's hot. She's 38. She's like, oh, I know you not playing in my motherfucking face. That's the Kamala we're getting right now, which could also lead to some slip up. So let's just keep watching and let's hope she doesn't. Because she's getting super emo right now.
Mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this.
and-
You
and
told
we
many
should all be
interviewers
concerned.
that Joe
What?
Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden,
Ooh.
I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There's
tried to
no
get him.
concerns
I mean, he
raised?
tried to get
Joe
her.
Biden is not on ballot,
I understand.
and
but
Donald Trump.
He's not on the
Donald-
ballot. She is hot, y'all. I love this version, except when she's using it to be a cop. I love this version of her.
Trump
But you
is,
talked about it.
and Donald Trump
After George
is,
Clooney said
and
within a
if
few
you
minutes of
watch
talking to President
Donald
Biden at a
Trump-
fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate
Donald
stage.
Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why
That's
the people
right,
who know
Pivot.
him best, including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out, even people who worked for him in the Oval Office.
Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you're new here, I see some new faces in the chat. Please subscribe to my channel. We do this a lot. We're going to be here election night. We're going to bring it home. So subscribe, hit the like button.
Worked with him in the Situation Room and have said he is unfit and dangerous and should never be president of the United States again, including his former
that's
vice
real.
president,
That's
which
real.
is
She
why the
does stay on
gap is
message.
open for him to choose another running mate. So that is a fact. That is a fact.
Madam Vice President, two more things. You were asked on 60 Minutes about the biggest threat
Make sure you bring a bottle.
the world faces, that the U.S. faces. This is what you said.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands. Okay, this attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
A number of experts thought you would say China. The FBI director had said that. But you said Iran. If that's the case, what do you say to critics who look at the actions of your administration and say you're not acting like Iran is the #1 threat?
Well, I will tell you most recently, whether it was in April
She wasn't
or in
ready for this
October,
question.
and then several hours on each occasion that Iran posed a threat to Israel, I was there. Most recently in
She
the
wasn't ready for this
Situation Room,
question.
in the most recent attack, working with the heads of our military and doing what America must always do to defend and to support Israel in its requirement to defend itself and to give.
Oh, we got a new word. Requirement. First, it was its right. Then it was its ability. Now we're on requirement. Israel's requirement to defend itself. Why do you talk like that? Because Israel is our stepchild and our footprint in the region. So they are required to defend themselves. The language, the way the language changes.
Give American support to be able to allow Israel to have the resources to defend itself against attack, including from Iran
That's the
and
step
Iran's
jab.
terrorist proxies in the region.
Right.
And that
But those
is,
proxies were getting
and
funded
my
by Iran.
commitment to that is unyielding and unwavering.
Unyielding.
Critics just said that you
Unwavering.
either relaxed
Unyielding
or
and
failed
unwavering.
to enforce sanctions on Iran, allowing all of this money to flow into Iran, like billions
Let's
in
go back to
oil
Donald
profits.
Trump,
Hold on.
who pulled out of a deal that would have actually put
But here are
Iran in check.
the estimates
and
in
then
billions
it was during Donald Trump's
that go
administration
towards
that
the Iran regime.
that we had an American military base that was attacked, where American soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries, and Donald Trump dismissed them as headaches. Not to mention
Madam
how
Vice
Donald
President,
Trump has,
all of this money
has treated
go back.
Donald Trump's
that go
administration
towards the
that
Iran
Let's go back to
oil
Donald
profits.
Trump,
Hold on.
who pulled out of a deal that would have actually put
But here are
Iran in check.
the estimates
and
in
then
billions
it was during Donald Trump's
that go
administration
towards the
that
Iran regime.
that we had an American military base that was attacked, where American soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries and Donald Trump dismissed them as headaches, not to mention
Madam
how
Vice
Donald
President,
Trump has,
all of this money
has treated
that
and
has
talked
gone
about
in the
America's
past few
military
years,
and military service people,
critics
calling them
say that it goes to
suckers and
Hezbollah,
losers,
Hamas,
has diminished
and
the
Houthis. We're
significance.
talking over each other. I
Well,
apologize.
I would like that we would have a
He's saying that they're funneling money to Hezbollah and Hamas. You hear that? Okay. You know what? I'm
conversation
hot right now, so I
that
don't
is
even have
grounded
to. Okay.
in full assessment of the facts, which includes, I think this interview is supposed to be about the choices that your viewers should be presented about this election, and the contrast is important.
Yes, ma'am.
And on the subject of Iran, I am offering what should be an important contrast that is presented for folks to make a decision that they.
But they're not presenting a contrast, right? So this is not her strong area. This is not her strong area.
Who look at what the administration did and say and think differently. Madam Vice President, they're wrapping me very hard here. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things
There's more to say. I have
there
much more to
are a
say,
lot of things
actually.
that people want to learn about you and your policies.
Yeah.
That's why we
I
invited
invite
you
everyone
here.
to go to KamalaHarris.com, and you will see that I have 80 pages of policies that are quite comprehensive and should be accessible to anyone who would like to read them. And it includes what I intend to do about affordable housing, what I intend to do about small businesses, what I do.
And that's why we invited you here, to see where you were in 2019 and where you are now.
Yeah. America's military and ensure we have the most lethal and best fighting force in the world.
Madam Vice President,
And
they're giving me a hard rap
well,
here.
I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest.
No, but we are going to do this. Oh yeah, let's go. Oh, we need to hit $1 million grassroots donation before our final FEC deadline, or we'll have to scale back spending in key battleground states. We've been waiting to join us. The time is now. They got 1 hour and 30 minutes left. Whatever. All right. Issue. She said she had 80 pages. We did this already. Oh, they redid it. Because when it was first up, it was looking awful. Oh, wait, I want to see the black man. Did they add the black man one on there? No. Oh, and here's the plan with its entirety. Okay. Yeah, no, we're not doing this again. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. We don't need to do that. Absolutely do not need to do that. Thanks for coming out, y'all. You know, hit the Cash App, hit the Venmo, hit the subscribe. Hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe is a great way to support what I'm doing for free. If you want to throw some change, you see I have the Cash App, I have the Venmo up there, I have the PayPal or whatever. But we're going to do this again election night. We will be here live, ready to go, in our fancy clothes. We're going to do this together. We're going to power through. We'll have some bingo. We'll have some drinking games. We'll have a recap of this entire circus, this entire election circus. If you are new here, please understand that this is not a safe space for Kamala Harris or the Democratic Party. It's not a safe space for Donald Trump and the Republican Party. It's not a safe space for any of these people because they're all trash. And anyway, so don't come in my space, talk your shit, because I'm not kissing nobody's ass. That's not what I'm about. Remember I told y'all I'm on freedom side. I'm not on these people's side. I'm on freedom side. So we will be back here live for the election night results. I may pop up again if something else comes out. Somebody does something utterly ridiculous. Did y'all see Trump when he was at Oaks? Now I've been to Oaks because Oaks has a really big gun show up there. So I've gone up there a few times and purchased some guns because it's very easy. You just go up to a table, say, I want that gun. Half hour later, it's yours. But did y'all see that? Y'all want to see that? I'll pull it up now. Why not? We can hang out a little bit longer. I'll pull it out now because it was kind of wild. Let's see. Trump rally, Pennsylvania. Let's see where he was doing it. Oaks. Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Because I watched it. I was like, what is happening right now? It was like, there's a black woman there too that I wanted to just tell her to go somewhere. Is there even sound on this thing? Okay, wait, here we go. Oh, they cut the sound at some point too. That was actually pretty funny. Hold on. All right, let me share this one. Y'all let me know if it's echoing when I do this. Okay, I'm gonna share the sound. All right. He had some interesting things that he said.
I had a mind,
That's funny.
and I love Border Patrol. Did you see they? gave
Yes,
me a
I
full
will continue to
endorsement
speak
2
on
days
the
ago?
puppy case.
Border Patrol.
I
The
will.
Border Patrol.
I hate him.
And they're great. And you know, they want to do their job. They don't want to let
Hold
these
on.
people come in. They look at them, they can tell,
I want to show y'all the
they can
funny
look
part.
at somebody, say good, bad.
This is a stupid question. Here, hold on.
Look at the quality of care we have. It's incredible when you think. Right?
Somebody got, so what happened, if you don't know, what happened was somebody got sick at the rally, and so they had to pause and take that person out. So then he tried to get back on track talking, but then somebody else got sick, and they had to come and have another medic come in and take them out. And so he kind of lost it. He kind of lost his way. And so then something very weird happened, which I'm going to show you all.
First responders. Our first responders are amazing, the way they can do things so beautifully and quickly.
They couldn't figure things out. They were like, what's going on? And so they just started playing music.
The number one issue is the economy. Number two is inflation.
He tried to
Let's
answer
even
more
put them
questions,
together.
but so this is the second time.
Yeah, take your time, Doc.
Somebody got sick again. And so he's just kind of like walking around. He doesn't know what's going on. I mean, I can actually speed this up because we don't need to. That's how I watched it. I posted a little clip on Instagram. I can speed this up here. So he doesn't know what's going on.
For security reasons, they can't. But you know what? I should just open them because anybody comes through those doors, you know what's going to happen to them.
He's like leveraging the whole "they're trying to kill me" thing.
It looks like, sir, she's on her feet and walking out. Let's encourage her.
Thank you.
Let her know we'll be praying for her. And I know it's really warm in here. Everybody agrees that it's really warm in here. We've got a lot of people who love America. I'm going to ask that if you have a chair, maybe sit so everyone around you can sit and still see the president and ask him questions. Maybe that will help us.
And we can spend a little more time.
Yes.
Personally, I enjoy this. We lose weight. You know, no, you lose weight. We can do this, lose 4 or 5 pounds. It's okay with me.
Kamala Harris is
But some people have been waiting here for 2 days for this, so you know, it's a little bit tough. It's a little bit tough, but they're going to try and get those doors open. And I don't know.
Okay. So this is when he starts dancing. He couldn't quite figure out what was going on. So he's really like just kind of dancing and swaying or whatever. They cut the sound for a little bit. And these are his songs that he goes through. Look, and look, he's dancing.
This is a man's world.
Why is he dancing like this?
But it would be nothing.
Why did he just kiss her on her forehead? He just gave his side chick a forehead kiss. Everybody saw that? Like, they've been speculating that, you know, they're bumping uglies. And then he just gives her a forehead kiss on national television. You give me a forehead kiss. I'm... That's crazy.
See, man in the car. Take us over the road.
That's his side piece, but look, he's dancing. What is happening? He doesn't even know what's happening. He doesn't know where he is. So here
I
we
want
go.
this to be a really important evening. And those 2 people that went down are patriots, and we love them.
Yes.
And because of them, we ended up with some good music, right? Right? So play
Oh,
YMCA.
God.
Go ahead.
He said play YMCA, and he wants them to dance. And so, wait, but then they do start playing YMCA. It gets worse. I think they went back. Oh, they went back and edited the sound, I think. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, and then they're playing Hallelujah. She tied you to a kitchen chair. She broke your throne. She cut your hair. So they did that. But then it gets worse. Hold on. Wait, did they cut that off? Did Prince get to them? Oh! Did the Prince estate get to them? Hold on. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so what happened was he was singing along to Sinead O'Connor's version of Nothing Compares to You by Prince. This was 2 days ago. They just blocked it out. So somebody got to them because they had to block that out. And they were like, nah, y'all not playing it. So anyway, this has been great, y'all. I am going to dip out. I will see y'all next time. Again, subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. You'll get notifications when I go live. You can come, you can join, and we have these conversations, Political Theater with Dr. T. And like I said, mark your calendars for election night. We will start about 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's when the polls start closing on the East Coast, and that's when they start doing their predictions. So we will be doing that. And I hope you all will join me for that. I love you all very much. So take care and be good.